is Pink Olay Crochet coming to you with another project. Today we're going to be doing the Mae Bunny. So for this project, you're going to need a few things. You are going to need some safety eyes. You're going to need this yarn, which is the ZZ Twist Lilac. Then we're going to need our Lion brand 24/7 white cotton and just a little bit of our ZZ Twist coral color. I'm going to be using a C hook, a 2.75 millimeter hook. You're also going to need some stuffing, and the eye size, which I believe I put the eye size in the description, but these are our eye size. They're tiny eyes. I can't remember. I think it may be a 6 millimeter eye. I think it's 6 millimeter eye, but I'll make sure to put that down in the description for you. So we are going to go ahead and we're going to get started. We're going to start with our cotton white. I'm going to go ahead and make my slip stitch, and I'm going to chain 2 here. So 1 and 2. And I'm going to put 6 single crochets into the second chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put 2 single crochet in each stitch. If you want, you can use a stitch marker because we're not joining. Okay. So 1 and 2. This is 3 and 4, five and 6, this is 7 and 8, and then we have 9 and 10, and then for our last one right here, this is 11 and 12. And I'm just going to pull on that, try to close it up. There we go. Perfect. Now for round 3, we're going to go ahead and do 1 single crochet in the next stitch and then 2 single crochets in the stitch after that. I'm going to go ahead and grab me some scrap yarn just so I know where I'm at here. Okay, there we go. So again, that's 1 single crochet in the first stitch and then 2 in the next. Okay, so now that we have finished round 3, just let me pull up my stitch marker here. Uh-oh. All right, there we go. Now we're going to go ahead and do round 4. So for round 4, we're going to single crochet in the next 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now we're going to do 3 decrease. So we're just going to decrease 3 stitches. So ooh. 1, and 2, and then this is the last one. That's 3. And now we're going to single crochet in the next 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So basically what you did was you just took away 3 stitches. Okay. So let me go ahead and pull up my stitch marker here. Okay, and now that we're done with round 4, let's go on to round 5. Now, for round 5, we're going to single crochet in the next 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then we're going to decrease. So we're going to do 1 single crochet decrease. Then we're going to single crochet in the next stitch. And then we're going to do another decrease, another single crochet decrease. And now we're going to single crochet in the next 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Just bring up my stitch marker. There we go. Now we're done with round 5. Now we're going to move on to round 6. And round 6, we are going to single crochet in the next 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to decrease 3 stitches together. So let's just do like this. That's 1 stitch, and then here's a 2nd stitch, and then here's a 3rd stitch. And we're just going to go through all of them just like that. Now we're going to single crochet in the next 5. So 1, 2, and this is 3, 4, and this one is 5. Now let me just pull up my stitch marker if I can get it. All right, there we go. There we go. Okay. Now that we're done, now what you want to do is you want to stuff this, because this is our small tiny little foot. So I'm just gonna take, this is probably too much, I'm gonna take just a tiny bit of my stuffing, and I'm going to go ahead there we go. And I'm just gonna cut that part off right there. There we go. Now, ta-da! And we have a little, I think it's a little tiny foot. Okay, so now for round 7. So for round 7, we are going to continue in our white just for a little bit longer. So what we're gonna do, seems like this got stuck. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet in the next 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5. And we're going to put 2 single crochet in the next stitch. So 1, and 2. Okay, and we're going to single crochet in the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then 2 single crochet in the last stitch. So 1 and 2. Okay. And now for round 8, we're going to single crochet in the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to put 2 single crochets in the next stitch. So 1 and 2. And then we're going to single crochet in the next 4. 1, 2. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait, no, okay. 2, 3, oh, right here, and 4. And now we're going to put 2 single crochet in the next stitch. So 1 and 2. And then we're going to single crochet in the last 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay. I'm just going to pull up my stitch marker. Okay, and doesn't that look cute? It is just so tiny. And there's our little foot. That's cute. Okay, so now for rounds 9 to 26, it is just simply 1 single crochet all the way around. But for this, we're gonna do the rounds 9 through 26 in our coral color. So what you're going to do, I'm going to show you. So first, I'm just going to clip off. Okay. So I kind of want this to, you know, not show, like I want it to not show that there is a difference in the hat. I don't want there to be like a line showing where I changed my colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right in here and I'm just going to do a small slip stitch just to bring that down. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and tie this off. I'm going to finish this off. Uh-oh. Oh boy. Come on now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish that off and I'm going to pull it. Now, you should have 15 stitches, so make sure you have 15 stitches. In some kind of way, my stitch marker got caught. So let's see if I can just go in here because I can't seem to pull it out. Oh, got that. I don't know what went wrong. Maybe I caught it and stitched it in there. Oh, wait, there we go. Ah, much better. Okay, so now we're going to take our coral color and we're going to make a slip knot. Go. And we're going to start right here. We're going to start right here where we made our slip stitch, and we're going to go ahead and do a single crochet. Just join the single crochet, like just like that. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure that you go around and there's 15 stitches. Just remember that. So this is 1. Let's make sure we're not skipping anything. And that's 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, that is 12, 13, 14, and this is 15. Ta-da! We didn't miss any. So what we're gonna do right here is we're gonna come down. We're gonna come down and we're gonna go right into the first stitch and we're going to slip stitch it together. So remember, when you go around, because we're not going to chain, we're just going to go around. Remember, when you go around, you will not go into that stitch right there, because this is just the joining stitch. If you go into this stitch right here, you're going to end up with 16 stitches and not 15. And make sure, see, we got a bulge here. It's from me going over the other. So I'm going to make sure I just pull that out and pull it. And you want to stuff as you go. Okay? Make sure you stuff. You can always cut off. There we go. Right. Then I can cut this one off too. And see, now you can't even tell. Ta-da! Looks really pretty. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do this off camera. I'm going to do rounds 9 to 26, and then I'm going to make my second foot, and then, or my second foot and leg. And when I come back, then I'll show you what you need to do next. I think this is really cute. All right, so now that we have both of our legs, we're gonna go ahead and move to the body. Now, I just wanted to point something out here before we get started on our body. If you look really, really close, and I'm gonna bring these up, it looks like I have two different kinds of legs. It looks like one leg, hold it up here. One leg is going up and down, and it looks like the other one goes in rounds. So I just wanted to let you know this happened because of the tension when I was crocheting. And what happened was, I guess I was holding the tension just a little bit tighter than this one. So that's why it looks like there are two different legs. So you want to be careful with that. You want to try to have the same tension when you're doing both of your legs so they come out looking the same. I'm not going to worry about this right now. But now that we have these, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start our body. And the body is going to be done with our lilac color. So right now, I'm going to cut off a little bit of a piece. I'm going to leave a little tail for joining. And I'm going to start with this leg. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing we did to join the pink before. So I'm going to go right in here. And I'm going to grab this onto the hook. And I'm going to make sure I pull it tight. And we're going to pull it in like that. And then I'm going to take my lilac color. And I'm going to pull that right through there. I'm going to make sure I pull this down. Pull this out to give me some more. There we go. A little bit of space there. Okay. So now, what we're doing here is we're going to join our legs. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that when you join them, they are slightly pointed outward. So you want them slightly pointed like this. Not too much, just a little bit. So slightly pointed like this. And now we're going to join them, and we're going to slip stitch both legs together. And then we're going to work 28 single crochets across both legs. So slip stitch them. So like this, I'm going to bring them out some. And it is a bit difficult. So don't get too frustrated. So you want to try to do this right the same spot. So right about here, I want to hold that together so that I can get the slip stitch actually going. And I'm going to just take it. There we go. Now I just want to pull to make sure that everything is secure here. Pull that down. And then I'm just gonna go ahead, I'll see, now I messed up. Because now, so I'm gonna have to take that out and do that again. Okay, there we go. Looks like my thread, I caught just one strand of thread. Or yarn, not thread. Okay, so again, want them pointed out. This is probably the hardest part to making a Mimi doll. Well, let's see if I'm gonna get it this time. Okay, go slow. There we go. Now I can drop this. I can come back here and pull this. Come on, let go. Pull this lilac color to make the loop a little tighter. Okay, now I can just go ahead and do my single crochet, which I said we were going to do 28 across. So you're going to have, you have 15 stitches on each leg. So if you go all the way around, you should have 30 stitches, but your joining stitches, which are going to be 2 slip stitches, that is going to take away from your 30. So that's why you're only going to have 28. So you make sure that when you join them, you only have 28. So now I can let that leg go and I can work on just one side. So right here is where I should be joining. So I'm gonna, where's the next stitch? Okay, here's the next stitch. I'm gonna go through that next stitch. And then I'm going to set up my legs to go outward a tiny bit. And I'm gonna make sure, okay, there we go. So I'm gonna make sure, and see, now I have this in the way. So let me just pull this out of the way. There we go. So right there. And I'm gonna try not to move. Okay. And I'm gonna try not to move and keep my tension on my hook. Oh wait, that's supposed to be a slip stitch. Okay, so there are my 2 slip stitches. Now, I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna try to crochet right on over that to hide that in there. Once you get past this part, it gets easier. Okay, there we go. Now I need to count. So let me just count. Let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, so I have 1 stitch to go, which should be the connecting stitch. So needs to pull that. Okay. So right, should probably be right about, oh Jesus. Okay, right about here. This, not way down there. See if I can find it right. There it is, right there. That is 28. And so that is what it should look like. 28. And now I'm going to do some increasing. So I'm going to take, and I'm going to put a stitch marker right in there. Alrighty, now let's go ahead and do round 28. Let's go ahead and do round 28. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to single crochet. We're going to single crochet in the next 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're gonna put 2 single crochet in the next stitch. 1 and 2. And you're gonna continue to do that all the way to the end. Okay, so now that we have finished round 28, we're going to go to round 29. But right before we do round 29, I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of stuffing, and I have just a little stick here. I'm going to just go ahead. If you don't have one of these little sticks, you can always just use the end of a pencil to just push it down in it. You don't want to put too much, just a little. You put a little bit as you go, because if you put too much, then the stuffing will kind of get stuck in the stitches as you go. You'll catch it with your hook. So I'm gonna go ahead and just, there we go, just a little bit in there. And now we're gonna go ahead and do round 29. And round 29 is 1 single crochet in the next 7 stitches, and then 2 stitches in the next stitch. 2 single crochets in the next stitch. So that's 2. Okay, so now that we have finished round 29, we're going to do round 30 and 31, and that is just simply 1 single crochet all the way around. Okay, so now we finished rounds 30 and 31. Now we're going to go ahead and do 32, and 32 is 1 single crochet in the next 8, and then 2 single crochet after that. Okay, so now that we finished round 32, we're going to do round 33. And round 33 is 1 single crochet in the next 9 stitches, and then 2 single crochet after that. Alright, and now that we have finished round 33, we're going to do round 34 through 38, which is simply 1 single crochet in each stitch. Okay, so now that we have finished rounds 34 through 38, we're going to do round 39. And round 39, we're going to single crochet in the next 9 stitches, and then we're going to do a decrease. And we're going to repeat that all the way to the end. And now that we're done with round 39, we're going to go ahead and do round 40 and 41. which is 1 single crochet in each stitch. Okay, so now that we've finished rounds 40 to 41, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do round 42. Round 42 is you single crochet in the next 8 stitches, and then you do a decrease, and you're gonna repeat that all the way to the end. And now that we have finished round 42, we're going to go ahead and do round 43 to 44, which is simply 1 single crochet in each stitch. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and we are going to move on to round 45. And round 45 is 1 single crochet in the next 7 stitches, and then 1 single crochet decrease, and you repeat to the end. Okay, so now that we've finished round 45, we're going to move on to round 46 and 47, which is simply 1 single crochet in each stitch. Okay, so now that we've finished round 46 to 47, let's go ahead and do round 48. Round 48 is 1 single crochet in the next 6 stitches and then a decrease, and you're going to repeat that all the way to the end. Alright, so now that we've finished round 48, we're going to do rounds 49 and 50. And rounds 49 and 50 are 1 single crochet in each stitch. Okay, so now that we've finished round 49 and 50, we're going to go ahead and do 51. And 51 is you're going to single crochet in the next 5 stitches, and then you're going to do a decrease, and then you're going to repeat that all the way to the end. So now that we finished round 51, we're going to do round 52 and 53, which is 1 single crochet in each stitch. Okay, so now that we've finished round 52 and 53, we're going to do round 54. Round 54 is you single crochet in the next 4 stitches, and then you decrease, and you're going to repeat that all the way around. And now that we're done with round 54, we're going to go ahead and do round 55 to 58. And it is simply 1 single crochet in each stitch. And afterwards, what you're going to do is you're going to stuff the body. Okay, so now that we have went ahead and we have finished our body, it should look something like this. Let me just zoom out. And it should look something like this. You have your white feet, your pink legs, and your purple body. As in, these are like stockings, and this is an outfit. So now what we're going to do, we're going to come in and we're going to take and sit this to the side for now. I'm going to go back to our white and we are going to do the head. We're going to start on the head for our Mae Bunny. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 2. So 1 and 2. And we are going to put 4 single crochet in this second chain. So 1, this is 2, 3, and 4. And now from this point on, you may actually want to use a stitch marker. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this one I have here. I'm just gonna make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so just go ahead and put in my stitch marker. Okay, and now for round 2, we're going to put 2 single crochet into each stitch. So we want to be careful. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so we're going to go right here, and once I get in there, I'm going to pull that down. So that's 1 and 2, and then right here, oh, is that the same one? I think it's here. Here we go. There we go. That is 3 and 4. And then right here is 5 and 6. And then here is 7 and 8. Okay, and I'm gonna pull that and make it tight, and I'm going to pull up my stitch marker. Okay, let's see here. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to round 3. And round 3 is 1 single crochet in the next stitch. So 1, and then 2 single crochet in the next stitch. And then let me make sure this is not the same, that is the same stitch. Okay, so it's, and you're just gonna repeat that to the end. So 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2, and then we have 1 and 1 and 2, then 1 and 1 and 2. Okay, pull up my stitch marker here. We go. Okay, so now we're going to move on to round 4. And round 4 is 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochet in the stitch after that. That's 1 and 2. So we have 1 and 1, and then this one is 2. So 1 and 2. Then 1 and 1. Then we have 2. 1, 1 and 2. Then 1 and 1, and then this is 2. 1 and 2. Okay, then we're just gonna pull up our stitch marker there. Go. Now we're gonna move on to round 5. And round 5 is 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. And then 2 single crochet in the stitch after that. So 1 and 2. Then we have 1, 2, and 3. And then 1 and 2. Then 1, 2, and 3. Then 1 and 2. And 1, 2, and 3. And then 1 and 2. Okay. There we go. And now we're just going to pull up our stitch marker. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to move on to round 6. And round 6 is 1 single crochet in the next 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then 2 single crochet in the next. So 1 and 2. So then we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then 1 and 2. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then 1 and 2. And we have 1, 2. That was 2. Give me a minute. Here we go. That's 2, 3, and 4. And then 1 and 2. Okay. I'm just gonna pull that through. There we go. Now we're gonna move on to round 7, and round 7 is 1 single crochet in the next 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then 2 single crochet in the next stitch. So 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then it's 1 and 2. Okay, and then we do 5 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we have 1 and 2. Then again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we have 1 and then 2. Okay, and then I'm going to pull up my stitch marker. There we go. Now we're going to move on to round 8. And in round 8, we are going to single crochet in the next 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then 1 and 2. That's 2 single crochet in the next stitch after that. Okay. And you're gonna repeat that to the end. Alright, and now that we are done with round 8, we're gonna go ahead and do round 9, and that is 1 single crochet in the next 7 stitches, and then 2 stitches after that. So that's 2. That's just 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's 1 and 2. Alright, and now that we've finished round 9, we're going to move on to round 10. Round 10 is 1 single crochet in the next 8, and then 2 single crochet in the next stitch. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then 1 and 2 in the same stitch. So now that we are done with round 10, we're going to move on to round 11 through 20, which is just one single crochet all the way around. And when you're done and you come to row 20, you're going to take your safety eyes, which are 6 millimeter, and you're going to put them in between round 17 and 18, and they're going to be 10 stitches away from each other. All right, so I finished the top part of the head, and now I'm going to go ahead and put in my eyes. Now you want to pick a spot where you want your eyes. You want to pick what's going to be the front and what is going to be the back. So since since I have this here, I'm going to put my eyes over here, and I'll make that the back. So now we're going to put the eyes between 17 and 18. So counting from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and this is 18. So right here is where we're putting our eyes, and they want to be 10 spaces apart, or 10 stitches apart rather. So I'm gonna grab my first eye, and I think I'm gonna put it here. And before I put on the backs, I just want to make sure that they're straight. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here's 10. So here would be, okay, and I just want to make sure. There we go. So I think they look good. Now I'm going to push them back. You want to make sure they're in the right spot, because once you put these backs on, they are very hard to get off. Okay, let's see if I can get this on. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. They're hard to get on, and they're nearly impossible to get off unless you just cut off the back. But that's a good thing, especially if you're making teddy bears or dolls for children. They can't just yank out the eyeballs. There we go. One more. Oh, there we go. All right. So now that my eyes are in, and I think that's a beautiful spot for the eyes. Okay. Let's go ahead, and we're gonna do round 21. And round 21, we're gonna single crochet in the next 8, and then we're gonna do a decrease. I'm gonna repeat to the end. Okay, and now we've finished round 24. We are going to move on to round 25, but before we do, I want to grab a little bit of stuffing, and I want to stuff our head before it gets too small. Go. And you only want to stuff a little bit. You don't want to stuff too much, because if you do, then your hook begins to get stuck in the stuffing, and it'll pull it up as you are crocheting, and we do not want that. So I'm gonna stop here, and it's stuffed but not completely stuffed. Okay, and now I'm going to move on to round 25, and we're going to single crochet in the next 4 stitches, and then we're going to do a single crochet decrease in the next stitch, and then we're going to repeat that all the way around. Okay, now we finished that up. Now what we're going to do is, we can lose this stitch marker now, Now we can finish up the stuffing and we can stuff it completely now. Go. I want to make sure that my head for this Mimi doll is stuffed until the head is stiff, but you don't want to put so much stuffing in that you can start to see inside the head. You can see through the stitches. That means there's too much. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to leave a small tail for sewing. I need to find my scissors. Oh, here. Got my scissors. And I am just going to put that through there, and I'm going to tie this off. And now we're going to come back to our body here. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. And I am going to finish this off by tying a little knot there. And I'm going to take this string and just stuff it right there. Now, I'm going to get my, oh no, where's my yarn needle? Guess I got to find it. Okay, so, oh, of course I have my cute little yarn needle pumpkin. All right, I'm going to take my yarn needle. I'm going to thread my needle with this yarn. There we go. That in it. Oh, no, no, no. That's not what I wanted. I do not want that to happen. Come on. There we go. Okay. Now, this can be tricky as we do not want to sew our head on crooked. So I'm going to push down all my stuffing to make sure I don't grab any while I'm sewing. And it's kind of like this, and you want to sew stitch for stitch. So I'm going to have to start here. Okay, so I'm going to start right here where I tied off the other one. Here we go. Just like that. And we're just going to go stitch for stitch here. I do not want you going sideways. And when I'm all done sewing the head on, right before I get ready to close it up, I'm going to add more stuffing to make sure we do not have a wobbly neck. There we go. Oh, do not go in there. Okay, so here is where we're going to stuff it some more. So let me just get that in there first. I'm gonna grab the stuffing I had from earlier. I want to do this little by little because I don't want to stretch out the neck, but I do want to make sure that there is enough stuffing. Okay, maybe just a little bit. Let's get it there. I think this will be, yeah, I think this will be the last little bit. There we go. That should be good. Now I can just go ahead. Finish sewing it up if I can get it and not the stuffing. All right, there we go. There we go. Here. Okay. So it looks like I still have like one stitch left here. I'm just gonna go into this area where I started, and I am going to move my needle over here to the stitch and put it through there. There we go. All right. Now that looks good. The neck looks great. And the stitching looks good. Okay, so the last thing we want to do is we want to tie this off. I want to tie this off in the back. So I'm going to go through here. I'm going to come out through here just to hide it. And then I'm just going to go up under these loops. I'm not going to pull too much because I don't want to loosen it up. But there we go. And before I pull it completely through, I'm going to go through that loop. Then I'm going to go through this new loop I made. And then I'm just going to pull it tight. I'm going to push everything down. Push it all down. There we go. Pull it so it's tight, and then we take it and we're going to put it up under to hold it down. And then I'm just going to go through one and out the other. There we go. And now you can't even see it. And I cut really close. And there. There we go. And now I'm gonna just zoom out so you can see this is our beautiful Mae Bunny so far. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to set this part to the side for now. We're going to grab our hook and we are going to use our white again. And we're going to start making our arms. Now we're going to make 2 of these arms. So make my slip stitch and we're going to chain 2. So 1 and 2. And we're going to put 4 single crochets into this chain. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so I'm going to go ahead and use a stitch marker because I do not want to get lost in my stitches. So now we're going to put 2 single crochet into each stitch. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Uh-oh. So that's 1 and 2. And then 3 and 4. And this is 5 and 6. Okay, and then last one, 7 and this is 8. Okay, that's 8. So now we're going to move on to round 3. And in round 3, we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and then 2 single crochet in the stitch after that. I'm going to repeat it to the end. So 1, and then right here, I'm going to put in 2 stitches. So 1 and 2. Then 1 right here, 1 and 2. Then 1, 1 and 2, then 1, and then right here is 1 and 2. And now I'm going to bring up my stitch marker. Okay, oh, there we go. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and move on to round 4. Round 4 is 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochets in the stitch after that. Okay, so there we go, and that's 1 and 2. And then 1, and then 1 here, and then there's 2 in the same stitch. So 1 and 2, then 1 and 1, then there's 2 in this stitch. So 1 and 2, then 1 and 1, and then 1 and 2. And pull up my stitch marker. Uh-oh. There we go. Looks like it's getting a little raggedy there. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna move on to round 5. Round 5, we do 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 2, and then we're gonna do a single crochet decrease. And we're going to repeat that all the way to the end. So 1, 1, and then decrease. Then 1, 1, and decrease. and then 1 and 1, and then decrease. And then pull up this raggedy stitch marker. Okay. And now we're going to do round 6, which is 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet decrease. And then we repeat to the end. So 1, then decrease. Okay, and then 1, then decrease. Then here's 1, and then decrease. Okay. I think my stitch marker is getting a little bit raggedy. Let's see. Do I have the other one in here? Yes, I do. I cut them into 2 earlier, and I still have the other one that is not raggedy yet. There we go. This going to garbage. Okay, so now we're going to move on to round 7 and 8. And in round 7 and 8, we're just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch. Okay, so now that I have finished round 7 and 8, we're going to move on to round 9. And with round 9, we're going to go back to our lilac color. So I'm just going to cut that off, right? And then we're going to take our hook, we're going to put it in this stitch, and we're going to take this, pull it tight, and we're going to pull that through. Okay, now we're going to come here and we're going to make our slip stitch, I mean not a slip stitch, but our single crochet with our lilac color. Now, let me just pull that, pull this, and now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and then 2 single crochet in the stitch after that. Now you should have 12 stitches here, so make sure you have 12 stitches. Now that we have our 12, and since I kind of don't want to deal with these anymore, they have been secured down. I don't want to cut that. This is a little bit hard. Just want to clip off. There we go. Okay, now right before we get ready to continue, I should have told you before you actually you did this thing together. I have a small little stick. If you don't, you can also use a pencil, but you need to stuff the hand. There we go. I could do a tiny bit more. that should be enough. There we go. Yes, that is perfect. Okay. So now for round 10 through 35, 1 single crochet in each stitch, and you want to make sure you have 12 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, this is 9, 10, 11, and 12. So I have 12 stitches. Oh. Okay, so now that we have finished up our the body and head and arm part, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get started on our ears. We're gonna start with our coral color, and we are going to chain a 30. Okay, and so now that we have chained our 35, we're gonna go ahead and we are going to single crochet in each stitch all the way to the end. Okay, and now that we have finished doing our single crochet, we are going to go ahead and right here in the last stitch where you already put your last single crochet, you're going to go ahead and you're going to put 2 more single crochets in there. And then you're going to turn and you're going to single crochet all the way down the other side. Okay, and now that we have finished, you want to chain 1 at the end here, and you're going to turn and you're going to single crochet until you get to the very top where we put our 3 single crochets in the same stitch, and you are going to put 3 single crochets in the middle stitch, and you're going to go all the way to the end here. And see, here is the end of one side. So now right here in the middle, this stitch right at the top, we're going to put 3 single crochets here at the top. There we go. And now we're going to go all the way down to the end here, just 1 single crochet. And then at the end, we're going to change to our lilac color. Okay, so right here, before we finish off that single crochet, we're going to clip off our coral color, and we're going to change it with our lilac color, which we're just going to finish off that single crochet with the lilac color. And then we're going to turn our work just like this. And then we're going to chain 1 and pull down our stitches, make sure they're tight. And we're going to continue on with our pattern, doing our 1 single crochet until we get to the middle stitch at the top, putting 3 single crochets in the middle stitch at the top, and then continuing down the other side with 1 single crochet in each stitch. Okay, so now that we've finished that, you're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing that you just did, except you're going to do it, we're going to do it in our white. So right here, like we did at the other end, before you finish this, you want to finish it with your white. Then you want to chain 1, and then you're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing that you just got finished doing. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and make sure you click that bell so you don't miss my next video. And this is Pink Olay, as always, saying happy crochet.